Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, Honorable Dwight Sutherland, Minister of Youth, Sport and Community Empowerment, Mrs. Nicole Hooverts, Vice President of the International Olympic Committee and Secretary General of the Aruba Olympic Committee, Sir Austin Seeley, Honorary IOC Member, Ms. Sandra Osborne, President of the Barbados Olympic Association, Inc., Ms. Shelley-Ann Hee Chung, General Manager, IGT Antilles Lotteries, Mr. Cameron Burke, Vice President of the Barbados Olympic Association, Mr. Erskine Simmons, Secretary General of the BOA and other BOA board members, Mr. Glenn Clark, General Manager of the BOA and other BOA members of staff, Presidents and Secretaries of National Federations, athletes, nominees, friends and colleagues in sport and the media, viewers at home, good evening, and welcome to the 2021 Barbados Olympic Association Sports Awards held in partnership with the Barbados Lottery. I'm Marsha Boyce, your Master of Ceremonies. Now, tonight's awards ceremony is being held under the theme Spirit of Resilience. It is a tribute to and a recognition of the challenges faced by our athletes, organizations, and others, especially at this time in the midst of a global pandemic. It is symbolic of their determination to excel regardless of the circumstances. And it is my pleasure to be here today with them and with you at home to celebrate their achievements over the past 2 years. Tonight, we come to you from the Barbados Olympic Museum, yes, without the usual live audience. However, I'm sure this virtual hybrid format has allowed many of you to join in on the celebrations. Now, a lot has happened since the BOA last held the annual awards in December 2019. The COVID-19 outbreak was declared a pandemic in March 2020, and since then, we've had to alter our way of living, working, and playing. The greatest sporting event on the planet, the Olympic Games, had to be postponed to the summer of 2021. Yet still, we witnessed the athletes rising to the occasion to perform. That epitomizes the theme of tonight's awards, the spirit of resilience. And then from a national perspective, Barbados became a republic in November. We are extremely proud that the first president of our country is none other than the patron of the BOA, Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason. Now it is my pleasure to introduce another distinguished lady. Ladies and gentlemen, to give you the official welcome is President of the BOA, Ms. Sandra Osborne.
Thank you, Madam Master of Ceremonies, for your kind introduction. Your Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, Honorable Dwight Sutherland, Minister of Youth, Sport and Community Empowerment, Mrs. Nicole Hooverts, Vice President of the International Olympic Committee and Secretary General of the Aruba Olympic Committee, Sir Austin Seeley, Honorary IOC Member, Mrs. Shelley-Ann Hee Chung, General Manager, IGT Antilles Lotteries, my colleagues in the Barbados Olympic Association, presidents and secretaries of national federations, athletes, award winners, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues in sport and the media, good evening. It is my pleasure, on behalf of the board, management and staff of the Barbados Olympic Association, to welcome you to our 2021 awards ceremony. Your Excellency, our joy and pride on your installation as the first President of Barbados cannot be overstated, and we wish you many years as the first Barbadian head of state. Thank you for honoring us with your virtual presence. Mr. Minister, we acknowledge your presence at your first BOA Awards ceremony in your capacity as Minister responsible for sport. It is also indeed an honor for us to have in our presence Mrs. Nicole Hooverts, the first Vice President of the International Olympic Committee to hail from the Caribbean. We are delighted that you have accepted our invitation to be the guest speaker tonight and look forward to your insightful remarks. I wish also to recognize Mrs. Shelley Ann Hee Chung of IGT, operators of the Barbados Lottery, who are tonight's sponsors, as well as our faithful partner in sport, and without whose support we would be unable to provide financial assistance to our national federations and athletes. Having had to cancel our awards ceremony in 2020 due to the pandemic, we are delighted that we are able to host this virtual ceremony tonight to recognize award winners who have excelled in sport in 2020 and 2021. We extend a special welcome to you and congratulate you on your outstanding performances. The theme of tonight's award, Spirit of Resilience, is a fitting tribute to everyone in the sporting community given the challenges in the last 20 months. We have all had to make adjustments, but many positive lessons have emerged from the COVID-19 experience. Foremost among these is that this pandemic has shown us how resilient we are as a people. The cancellation of many sporting competitions and the lockdowns, curfews, and other restrictions made competing either non-existent or very challenging. And yet we have seen sports administrators and coaches find innovative ways of continuing to function. And we have seen our athletes rise above the challenges, showing incredible resilience, commitment, and discipline to perform at their very best. We acknowledge all the frontline workers who have toiled to keep us safe in the pandemic, but we consider the entire sporting community, not just those who are being honored tonight, also to be heroes. You could have given up, but you persisted. Our athletes performed at their very best and deserve our support and praise. We celebrate some of them tonight, but recognize all those who have stayed the course. The postponement of the Tokyo Olympics and the cancellation of many qualifying and other sporting competitions provided the BOA with the opportunity to focus on adapting to our new environment by taking our educational offerings online and celebrating events in virtual format, while continuing the work of our various commissions. This included the Capital Works Commission, which is working closely with the Barbados Hockey Federation to oversee the completion of Phase 2 of the National Hockey Center, funded through the Pan Am Sports Olymp America grant. We all look forward with great anticipation to Tokyo 2020 in July-August 2021 and celebrated the qualification of 8 athletes in 2 disciplines. I say celebrate advisedly because sometimes we forget what an achievement it is for athletes to be at the table, as I like to say. Qualification of semi-finalists and 2 new national records. And for the first time in many years, the Paralympic Association of Barbados, with whom we have a very close working relationship, was able to participate in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. And we all watched proudly as Antoine Boyce Vaughan competed in para-swimming. We also participated in the recently concluded inaugural Junior Pan Am Games in Cali, Colombia, where 14 athletes between the ages of 17 and 21 competed in 8 disciplines, and where swimmer Jack Kirby proudly won a bronze medal in the 100 meters backstroke. One of our strategic pillars is to inspire excellence and fuel the passion of athletes. We aspire to some ambitious targets to win medals between now and Paris 2024, all the time seeking out better ways to support our athletes and national federations. Based on submissions made recently by national federations for Paris 2024 Olympic Solidarity Scholarships, we have identified 12 athletes and will be seeking to more closely align the high-performance goals of their national federations with our own ambitions. Although we recognize that there is still a lot of work to be done at many levels to produce world-class athletes, this more targeted and collaborative approach is intended to give elite athletes better support and, by extension, a more realistic chance of success. I am therefore pleased to announce that the board recently approved a substantial increase in elite athlete funding for 2022. This means we will spend an additional $1 million approximately on elite athlete funding, while maintaining existing levels of support for athletes in the high performance, developing, and emerging categories. The funding is, of course, subject to certain conditions which will be discussed with the relevant national federations. In terms of 2022, we have 3 games on our calendar: the Caribbean Games in Guadeloupe, the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England, and the Beach Games in Santa Marta, Colombia. Driven by our commitment to provide as safe an environment as possible for teams under our umbrella, we recently introduced a compulsory COVID-19 vaccination policy, which will take effect from the beginning of January 2022. In closing, it just remains for me to say that our message tonight is one of hope, recovery, and resilience. Our very best wishes for good health and a full return of sporting activities. Good night and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Osborne. And now to bring remarks is the Minister of Youth, Sport and Community Empowerment, the Honourable Dwight Sutherland.
Your Excellency, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, Mr. MacDonald Fingal, Chairman of the National Sports Council, Mr. Neil Morrell, Director of the National Sports Council, Mrs. Sandra Osborne, President of the Barbados Olympic Association, officials of the Barbados Olympic Association, specially invited guests, awardees, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to join with the Barbados Olympic Association to celebrate the outstanding contribution made by our sporting heroes to national development, and during an era that can easily be regarded as being among the most challenging in recent times. It is therefore with a sense of pride and humility that I pause to pay tribute to all Barbadian sportspersons, administrators, sport support staff, and the general public for your patience, resilience, and in several cases, excellent performance during a tough but rewarding 2021. As most of us are aware, Barbados would have participated in a number of key events during this year, including the Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan, and the Junior Pan American Games in Cali, Colombia. I therefore wish to take this opportunity on behalf of the government and the people of Barbados to extend heartfelt congratulations to our athletes for once again flying the blue and gold with much pride and national resolve. The participation of Barbadian athletes in these regional and international sporting events bring further global recognition to all Barbadians at home and across the diaspora, and help to keep in focus the significance of the Barbados brand. To my mind, it is such commitment and dedication that not only exemplifies what it is to be Barbadian, but ensures the legacy that, like the proverbial baton, must be carried on with a sense of deep appreciation and mental alertness by our Barbadian youth. This, coupled with their exuberance, positive mindset, and industrious work ethic, must attest to all and sundry that Barbados remains in good hands. Ladies and gentlemen, as sporting aficionados, we are most aware that the outstanding performances of any sporting person is in many respects a reflection of his or her support team. In this regard, it is essential that I acknowledge the sterling contribution made by you, the management and staff of the Barbados Olympic Association, who, with finite resources, annually strategize to ensure that no sporting organization is left behind as Barbados seeks to position itself among the elite sporting nations across the globe. It therefore goes without saying that the BOA's commitment to the various national federations remains not only an exemplary feat, but your dedication to helping all sportspersons succeed, whether in local or international competition, continues to be underscored as being of unquestionable significance. Ladies and gentlemen, it is also clear to me that the efforts of the BOA are appreciated by our sports persons. Indeed, I recall meeting with some of our Olympians on their return from Tokyo, and I was particularly pleased to hear the unanimous comments of praise showered upon the staff of the BOA. More specifically, athletes spoke about the meticulous way in which the BOA officials ensured that athletes had experienced worry-free travels so that their full attention could be placed on competing. As simple as this may sound to some, this was indeed profound to me, since it demonstrated that all members of the team needed to work together and to support each other. Friends and colleagues of the sporting fraternity, I'm also aware that as we struggle to strike a balance between containing the COVID-19 pandemic and seeking a timely resumption to sporting activities, whether at the national or community level, there has been considerable consternation among our sports enthusiasts, whether as participants or as supporters. Let me, with sober reflection, note, however, that while I give support to the need for timely resumption of sporting activities in Barbados, I caution we must do so with the greatest sense of care and responsibility, so as to preserve a safe environment, as well as to ensure that such reopening is not short-lived. In this regard, I therefore urge you to follow the directive recently issued by the Attorney General's Office with strictest compliance as you submit your respective sporting plans to the COVID-19 Monitoring Unit for consideration and mutual satisfaction. Ladies and gentlemen, it goes without saying that whatever you have achieved this year goes beyond just merely the demands of your respective sporting disciplines. Sport is not easy. Sports is never about making sport. Success in sport takes time, commitment, adequate financial resources, effective communication, consistent quality practice, and above all, a deep resolve to succeed against all odds. While for some, sports may be considered a mere recreational activity, research has shown that sports has the capacity to positively shape the minds of spectators and participants, to transition troubled youth into being responsible citizens, to uplift vulnerable communities, and to create viable careers in the various occupational areas which exist within the sports sector. Sports therefore has the potential to contribute to the social development and social integration of any society, and to be a pivotal generator of foreign exchange, and to contribute in a meaningful way to economic development. Armed with such knowledge, it remains government's remit and intention to further build out a national sporting agenda that is premised by the fact that no one will be left behind in this country. As my ministry continues to implement the type of policy prescriptions and interventions that will appropriately address challenges and concerns of our youth in their respective communities, I encourage all of you to join in this national effort to transform and empower our communities through sports. It is against this backdrop that my ministry has embarked on a major capital works program to improve our sporting facilities, recognizing that the provision of quality facilities is integral to sports development. One aspect of that program is the lighting upgrade project that will see 37 facilities, yes, 37 facilities across the length and breadth of Barbados having lights installed to facilitate the reintroduction of positive community engagement and sporting activities at night. I'm pleased to report that thus far, we have completed the installation of lights at Byes Mill in St. George and Princess Margaret Secondary School and St. Margaret's in St. John. And we are poised to complete works at Arsenal Playing Field in St. Michael, Lodge Road in Christchurch, Fowl Bay and St. Martin's in St. Philip, as well as in Connelltown in St. Lucie. In addition, we have constructed a pavilion at the Glebe in St. George and new hard courts at Wesley Hall and Eagle Hall primary schools, and the playing field at Lowndes in Christchurch. The regrading of grounds at 4 secondary schools and 3 other fields and sites. The creation of new cricket pitches at 2 secondary schools. The refurbishment of Dighton Parroch Tennis Court at Bush Hall, and the creation of over 150 road tennis courts represent just some of the work which we have been doing and will continue to do to ensure that all our sporting facilities are at high standards and can support the critical training needed for our athletes, the hosting of local, regional, and international competitions, and the creation of safe and secure spaces for our community members to play and recreate and maintain their physical and mental well-being. I should add that included in this Capital Works program will be the lighting of several of our road tennis courts as part of government's continued effort to revitalize the game of road tennis. Road tennis is our only indigenous sport, and hence every effort must be made to give such recognition as we package it for local consumption, and equally as important as we take it abroad to gain global exposure, but also to accrue the rewards which can be attained from the appropriate branding and merchandising. The significance of road tennis as a Barbadian iconic product has been recognized, and in fact, in response to an invitation from our partners at Invest Barbados, we mobilized a team of persons to participate in an international exposition to promote road tennis during the period December 8th to 18th. Only a few weeks ago, a delegation consisting of coaches, players, and other officials represented this country at the Barbados Pavilion, which has been created to promote Barbados during the ongoing Expo 2020, which is being held in Dubai, and which involves over 190 countries. The participation of road tennis specialists like Julian White and Dale Clark resulted in the conduct of coaching clinics and the coordination of a tournament, which attracted individuals from many countries, including India, France, Belgium, and Russia. It is therefore not far-fetched to aspire to have road tennis become an Olympic sport and to see several of our Barbadian players become future Olympic champions. What I will say, however, is that it will take a national effort to achieve this goal, and it will require the collaborative efforts of government agencies like the National Sports Council, Invest Barbados, and the Barbados Investment and Development Corporation, the Barbados Road Tennis Association, and the Professional Road Tennis Association, and of course, last but by no means least, the Barbados Olympic Association. Similarly, we need to give attention to reviving such sports as softball, cricket, and surfing and other beach sports, skateboarding, karate, and other martial arts, dominoes, among others. Ladies and gentlemen, sports has the potential to make our athletes global citizens. As such, we must strengthen our efforts to promote sports as a career of choice. We must sensitize our children to the various job opportunities which exist within sports, and we must nurture the natural talents and abilities of our children from as early as possible. This means we must provide the necessary high performance training and life skills to allow our athletes to compete on the world stage. The government of Barbados, having recognized the critical role that sports must play to facilitate national development, will continue to ensure that adequate resources are made available to support the nation's sporting expectations. As I take note of the immense potential of sports, I must highlight the fact that our athletes have over the past year, proven that Barbadians have the ability to compete on the local, regional, and international stage in various sporting disciplines, and accordingly, government will continue to invest in our emerging and elite athletes. To this end, my ministry is also spearheading a mini stadia project which will see a number of sporting grounds established for our athletes to train, while simultaneously increasing the number of high performance coaches to allow our athletes to reach their fullest potential. It was the late South African anti apartheid revolutionist and former President Nelson Mandela who said, and I quote, "Do not judge me by my success, judge me by how many times I fell and got back up." This, ladies and gentlemen, has been what you in the sporting arena have been called to do, especially over the course of the last year. As professionally minded athletes, resilient must be your watchword, your key source of motivation, and the embodiment of your determination to bounce back even when things do not go as planned. The continued development and success of all our athletes must be buttressed in a foundation that recognizes the importance of sports and guides the effective governance and administration of this exciting sector. I wish, therefore, to reiterate government's commitment to the development of sports and to inform you that we are currently preparing to send to Cabinet a draft national sports policy which embodies all the elements essential to advance sports as a major economic pillar in Barbados. The draft policy notes the importance of sports to healthy living and education. It recognizes the ability of sports to reduce deviance and develop people and communities. And it recognizes the various synergies that need to be exploited, including the development and application of intellectual property rights and digitization within sports, along with a renewed emphasis on sports tourism. The draft policy also sets out a framework for the development of a high performance system, the maintenance of integrity in sports, the hosting of regional and international events. This document, when approved by the Cabinet of Barbados, will be the blueprint that will transform sports in this country and allow all stakeholders to maximize the benefits that can be accrued. Sports is critical to sustainable social and economic development, and this policy will be that instrument that will support the paradigm shift needed to have sports viewed as a major sector. It is vital to note that the comprehensive nature of this document is reflective of the views of several individuals and organizations that are either directly or indirectly involved in sports. In this regard, I must thank all sports federations and other stakeholders, including the Barbados Olympic Association, for their contribution to the formulation of this wonderful document. As I extend heartfelt congratulations to the awardees here tonight, I encourage them to continue to aim for excellence and to be reminded that continued growth and development can only lead to success. This, then, must not only be the philosophical ethos of our awardees, but also the BOA for 2020 and beyond. It must also be the inspirational charge given to our future global sporting champs as they give of their best and they seek to represent Barbados on the international stage. In closing, let me wish all of you a safe, happy, and blessed 2020 and assure you again of government's unreserved support to our sporting associations, our sporting administrators, and sportsmen and women as we work together to serve our country with pride and with distinction. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Minister Sutherland. Now, as the evening progresses, we will tell you of the achievements of persons in sport, and not just the athletes, but also others who continue to produce during the pandemic. But before we get into the awards, we have a special guest speaker who has demonstrated resilience this year to be elected as the Vice President of the International Olympic Committee, coming from the small island of Aruba. Ms. Nicole Hooverts is the Secretary General of the Aruba National Olympic Committee. She is also an executive board member of Pan Am Sports. She has worked extensively in roles such as legal advisor to the Prime Minister and permanent secretary to the Council of Ministers in Aruba. Ms. Hooverts has won many awards and distinctions, including being named Woman of the Year in 2007 by the Caribbean Speed Printers. She is a former Olympic synchronized swimmer and has been active with the IOC for many years, taking on increasingly more significant roles. Ms. Hooverts is a symbol for women, for the people of our region, and a reminder that in sport, everything is possible.
With the year 2021 slowly coming to an end, I had the privilege and pleasure to accept the invitation that was extended to me by the Barbados Olympic Association to be part of tonight's Spirit of Resilience Sports Awards, honoring no less than 35 athletes, coaches, organizations, administrators for all their extraordinary accomplishments during the year 2021. Good evening. My name is Nicole Hooverts, and apart from all the official titles that I hold, I consider myself first and foremost a friend of Barbados. I've always looked up to Barbados because you are leading the way in so many ways through the Barbados Olympic Association and through all the sports fraternity members. I would like to recognize and salute Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados. The Honorable Dwight Sutherland, Minister of Sports, Youth, and Community Empowerment. My dear friend, Sir Austin Seeley, Honorary Member of the International Olympic Committee. And of course, Ms. Sandra Osborne, President of the Barbados Olympic Association, and through you, Sandy, your wonderful team at the BOA. And Mrs. Shelley-Ann Heechung, the General Manager of IGT Antilles Lotteries. I had the privilege and of course accepted to be part of tonight's event because it gave me the opportunity to recognize and salute all these outstanding people for the accomplishments during the year 2021. And what a year it has been. It has been the second year of a pandemic that has kept the whole world in its power and making so many things so difficult for us in sports. Despite that, you demonstrated that with resilience, with dedication, with discipline, you continue to dedicate to the sports that you so love and were able to accomplish so much during the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo, or the Paralympic Games in Tokyo, or the just recently celebrated Junior Pan American Games in Cali, Colombia, or the FIBA eSports Basketball Open Championship, where you were able to get the champion title. All these accomplishments made us realize how much hard work you have dedicated to making this possible. And for that, I'm sure that the Barbados community and the people of the federations and the sports fraternity is very proud, just as we are. I hope that the Barbados Olympic Association may continue to count on the support of the government to make it possible for even bigger accomplishments during the year 22, and beyond. Because we have a very, very full, packed sports calendar with many challenges ahead of us. We hope that the Barbados Olympic Association can also continue to count on the support of the commercial community, of which the lotteries is just an example. We hope that all these sports administrators will continue to dedicate and donate their time as volunteers to the world of sports. And we hope that each and every one of the athletes may realize and understand how much of a role model they are to new generations of young people, boys and girls, young ladies and young men, so that they can also become examples for the future. We hope that you may realize that even though you're not winning medals right now, winning gold medals is not the only goal that we have ahead of us. What we try to accomplish in the Olympic movement is to strive for excellence, which means that we try to be better today than we were yesterday. And that is something that we are celebrating tonight as well. We hope that at the end of this exciting but very challenging year 2021, we look ahead with optimism and with big aspirations to the year 2022. And we hope that this year 2022 may be a year for new memories, new adventures, and new accomplishments ahead of us. We hope that the year 2022 may be the best and most exciting year ever. And I hope that tonight may be a night of celebration, a night of companionship, and a night of continued friendship. I thank you very much for this invitation, and I wish all of you a very happy New Year 2022, and may we have the opportunity to meet each other in person very soon again. Thank you very much for the invitation, and have a wonderful evening at the Spirit of Resilience Sports Awards.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hooverts, Vice President of the International Olympic Committee. We now move into the award section of this evening's presentation, and we begin with a new category, the Sports Journalist Award. This award recognizes some of the persons who kept sport alive through lockdowns and so much more, and they continue to do so throughout this trepid time for competitive sports.
The nominees in the category for Sports Journalist Recognition Award are Amar Goodrich Boyce, Nation News; Kenmore Bino, Nation News; Marissa Lindsay, Barbados Today. The Sports Journalist Recognition Awards will be presented by Mr. Alan Herbert, Director, Barbados Olympic Association.
Ladies and gentlemen, all three of our nominees will receive the award this evening. The work of Anmar Goodrich Boyce led to his selection for the International Olympic Committee's Young Reporters Program, held during the Lausanne Youth Winter Olympic Games in 2020. This young reporter from the Nation Publishing Company hasn't looked back since, with his talents taking him to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics this year, where he covered the Games, fulfilling a boyhood dream. Ladies and gentlemen, for his coverage of sport, particularly Olympic sport, we recognize Ammar Goodrich Boyce.
I am excited and honored to be the winner of this award. I believe that it is my role as a journalist to reflect the times, and it has been such a tough time in local sports due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I hope that I can continue to be the voice of the voiceless throughout my articles and to inspire young Barbadians to strive for excellence. I want to thank my family, my friends, my sources, and my workplace, the Nation Publishing Company, for believing in me and helping throughout this journey. This award is dedicated to my fallen friend and colleague, Christoph Griffith. May he continue to rest in peace. Thank you.
Our next recipient in this category is Kenmore Bino. With most competitions ceasing and sport virtually coming to a halt locally, this awardee took the time to highlight families in Barbados who have excelled in sport, giving us a behind-the-scenes look at some of this island's best competitors across multiple disciplines. Ladies and gentlemen, for his articles highlighting the supportive role of the family in sport, we recognize photojournalist Kenmore Bino.
It is truly an honor for me to be recognized for my work as a photojournalist during this pandemic period. That is where most sports at the domestic level have been on pause. During this period, I would have used whatever resources I could find to compensate for a very reduced work program. Nothing pleased me more than the parent-student features, which I started last year during the first lockdown. I would have written just over 90 features outlining the passion, love, sacrifices, and support which parents and family members continue to offer to help sportspersons achieve their dreams. Normally, the media would feature the success of the coaches and the athletes, overlooking the significant roles of the parents and other family members. I believe that I have been able to tell the story of those scores of parents and family members, and significantly, I have been pleasantly shocked by the intellect, eloquence, and mental strength of those parents and family members who often remain in the shadows. I must thank the Barbados Olympic Association for especially recognizing my work in this area. Thank you.
Last but by no means least, the final recognition award in this category goes to a hard-working young woman. Barbados Today reporter Marissa Lindsay is known for her commitment and dedication to local sporting coverage. During the pandemic, Marissa worked tirelessly to keep local sport in the limelight, including crafting biographic stories featuring local athletes, as well as highlighting women in sport. Ladies and gentlemen, Marissa Lindsay.
Good evening, distinguished guests, fellow awardees, those logged on to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. I feel extremely honored to receive this award. It is a testament to the hard work, determination, and resilience shown at a time when the world faced a global pandemic. These awards are called the Spirit of Resilience. And over the past 2 years, if there is one thing the coronavirus pandemic has taught me, is to keep fighting and never give up. May we all continue to hold firm and strive always for that which we aspire. As tennis great Serena Williams once said, the success of every woman should be the inspiration to another. We should raise each other up, make sure you are very strong, be extremely kind, and above all, be humble. I hope that I am an inspiration to other females out there. With these few words, I thank you. Good evening.
Congratulations to the 3 recipients of the Sports Journalist Award, Anmar Goodrich-Boyce, Kenmore Bino, and Marissa Lindsay. Now, we all know that being at the top of your sport takes athleticism, skill, and hard work. Sport in good times calls for determination, but sport in a pandemic calls for resilience. The upcoming categories of awards feature persons and organizations who have indeed demonstrated that spirit of resilience. The first award in this section is the International Excellence Award. Now, this award is presented to athletes, officials, coaches, and/or support personnel who have garnered international attention for excellence in their respective sport.
The nominees in the category for International Excellence Award are FIBA Esports Team, Barbados Amateur Basketball Association, Dr. Melissa Bradford Jones, Boxing, Megan Bess, Squash, Sonia O'Neill, Swimming. The International Excellence Award will be presented by Ms. Sandra Osborne, President of the Barbados Olympic Association.
Congratulations to all of our nominees in this category. And now, the International Excellence Award goes to the Barbados Amateur Basketball Association's eSport team of Captain Keelan Phillips, Stefan Clark, Brandon Hope, Doroni Hurley, Joshua Lowe, Rashid Maynard, and Richie Walker. Now, earlier this year, with a local sport on hiatus, these young men made headlines, defeating teams from across the North and Central American Conference, with Barbados being named winners of the FIBA Esports Open 3 division in their first ever appearance in the competition. I'd now like to invite the captain, Keelan Phillips, to say a few words on their behalf.
Good night, everyone. First off, I would like to thank the BOA for this honor. I would also like to thank FIBA and the 2K Esports League for allowing us to participate in this tournament for the first time. You know, it was a little difficult, and it was a little bit of an unknown element, but we eventually got it done. I also like to thank the BABA for allowing us to participate. I also like to thank Charlene, Zaire, and Rico for helping us through the process. It was a little tricky, but now COVID gave us, usually during this time, we would be playing actual basketball, but, you know, seeing as we can't play basketball, this gave us a new avenue of basketball in the form of 2K esports. So if it wasn't for COVID, we actually wouldn't have gotten this done, which is strange to actually say. I also like to thank the support that we got over social media and YouTube. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my teammates, Stefan Clark, Rash, Rashi Maynard, Joshua Lowe, Brandon Holt, Richie Walker, and Danny Hurley. Without them, we couldn't get it done. So thanks a lot, guys.
Congratulations once again to the Barbados Esports basketball team, the winners of the International Excellence Award. Now, the next award is the Spirit of Resilience Award. This award recognizes those who have overcome adversity to continue to push the boundaries in sport.
The nominees in the category for Spirit of Resilience Award are Antoine Boyce Vaughan, swimming; Athletics Association of Barbados; FIBA Esports Team, Barbados Amateur Basketball Association; Barbados Netball Association; Barbados Squash Association; Edward Neblick, boxing; Figueroa Boeing, boxing. The Spirit of Resilience Award will be presented by Miss Shelley Griffith, Assistant Secretary General, the Barbados Olympic Association.
The Spirit of Resilience Award this year will be given to both an individual and a sporting organization. Now, in the individual category, the young man receiving this award epitomizes the theme. He started swimming in 2020 as a means of rehabilitation after he lost his right leg to osteosarcoma. And then this year, 2021, he was this island's only athlete to the Tokyo Paralympic Games, where he set a new personal best time in the 50-meter freestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, the Spirit of Resilience Individual Award goes to para swimmer Antoine Boyce Vaughan. Let's now hear from Antoine.
Good evening. My name is Antoine. And cancer is not something I chose. Losing a limb is not something I chose. These two events put me on a path of misery and pain. I chose to fight. I chose to succeed. I chose life. I did not do this on my own. I have a praying and fighting mother, Tanya Boyce. I have sisters and a brother and my grandmother, aunties and the nurses, doctors and nurses, friends and family. I have Adele Price, who taught me how to swim, Suzanne Watts, who built me a pain-free leg. Thank you. Thanks to Bobby Goodman and Dr. Sparman. Thanks to the Olympic Association of Barbados, Barbados Aquatic Sports Council, Barbados Aquatic Sports Association, Barbados Olympic Association. Thank you all who helped and support me. Thanks to God for walking me through this journey. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Antoine. And now to the National Federation winning the Spirit of Resilience Award. It is the Barbados Squash Association. Now, during the pandemic, the Squash Association started a feature entitled Squash Highlights, which saw as many as 40 articles being published about squash players. They also received permission to restart the Junior Squash Development Program in November 2020. Instead of staying on the pause, they hit that play button, seeking and receiving permission for an intense Level 4 international coaching program funded by the BOA for 40 athletes. The Barbados Squash Association also had well-advanced Ministry of Health and Wellness approved plans to host the Junior Caribbean Area Squash Association Championships in December 2021, before that tournament was cancelled. The Barbados Squash Association is the winner of the Spirit of Resilience Award for national federations. We now invite a representative from that association to say thank you.
Sorry, good night, everyone. I would like to thank you on behalf of the Barbados Squash Association for the honor of being selected to be the recipient of the prestigious Resilience Award. My deepest appreciation goes to the BOA for nominating the BSA, as we shall forever be grateful for the recognition that we've received. Sport and squash, as an indoor sports, were and continues to be significantly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The BSA brainstormed on how to creatively bring recognition and continued interest in squash and started in 2020 with the media Squash Spotlight of our athletes, which brought tremendous interest, followed by facilitating virtual training sessions, then celebrating World Squash Day, hosting the Senior Master Nationals, and when most countries were not allowed to host squash tournaments, and restarting our junior development program. And in 2021, we restarted our national athlete training program. We're busy planning our schedule for 2022 for squash, as we believe that once we continue to work with the authorities to improve the present protocols and develop new ones, sports can and should be played with limited risk and contribute to the maintaining the mental and physical health of our children and adults. The pandemic has been a challenge, but despite squash being a smaller indoor sport and a less mainstream sport, we have worked tremendously hard to become an example as to how sports during the pandemic can evolve and conform to the new norm. We hope that our safety measures can be used for other sporting organizations and for recreational sports so that we can be part of the movement to get back to a healthy, active Barbados for all. Thank you very much.
That was Kim Jebo Singh, the immediate past president of the Barbados Squash Associations. And congratulations to the Squash Association and Antoine Boyce-Vaughan, the recipients of the Spirit of Resilience Award. We now move on to the newly introduced People's Choice Award. This category gave you, the members of the public, the opportunity to vote online for your top athlete. Also, in addition to receiving a trophy, the winner will receive a cash reward, which has been donated by IGT Global Services Limited, operators and managers of the Barbados Lottery.
The nominees in the category for People's Choice Award are Amber Joseph, cycling; Hannah Wilson, chess; Shade Williams, athletics; Alex Sobers, swimming; Jack Kirby, swimming; Mark Seeley, squash. The People's Choice Award will be presented by Miss Shelly-Ann Hee-Chung, General Manager, IGT Antilles Lotteries.
Congratulations to all of our nominees in that category. Now, after several days of voting, you have decided that the winner of the People's Choice Award is Shade Williams, track and field. Congratulations to you, Shade. The people have spoken, and I am sure you captured many additional hearts with your performances this year. We now move into the final three major categories, the moments many of you might have been waiting for. So up first, the Female Athlete of the Year.
The nominees in the category for Female Athlete of the Year are Amber Joseph, cycling; Daniel Titus, swimming; Erin Pinder, gymnastics; Hannah Wilson, chess; Kimberly Gittins, boxing; Megan Bess, squash; Shade Williams, athletics. The Female Athlete of the Year Award will be presented by Mr. Cameron Burke, Vice President, Barbados Olympic Association.
Congratulations to all of the nominees in this category. So now for the winner, the Female Athlete of the Year is Shade Williams, athletics. Now, Shade Williams has been performing well all year long. But for those who weren't paying attention, She truly announced her arrival. In the marquee final in Zurich, she beat out some of the Tokyo 2020 finalists to claim the third spot overall. So, for never giving up, for leaving everything on the track and reaching new milestones, ladies and gentlemen, the Female Athlete of the Year, Olympian Shade Williams. Let's now hear from her.
It is a huge honor and privilege for me to receive this award for being the Female Athlete of the Year. I am truly grateful to be recognized for my hard work and dedication during these challenging times. I would like to thank the Barbados Olympic Association for their constant support, especially during the Olympic Games. Most importantly, I would like to thank my supporters for their kind words and support during the 2021 track and field season. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Shade, and congratulations. Now we move on to the award for the Male Athlete of the Year.
The nominees in the category for Male Athlete of the Year are Alex Sobers, swimming; Jack Kirby, swimming; Jabali Breedy, boxing; Jonathan Jones, athletics; Joshua Kelly, cycling; Mark Seeley, squash; Orlando Husbands, chess. The Male Athlete of the Year award will be presented by Miss Anicia Wood, Chair, Barbados Athletes Commission.
Congratulations to all of the nominees in this category. And now the Male Athlete of the Year is Jack Kirby, swimming. Jack Kirby has the distinction of becoming the first swimmer from the English-speaking Caribbean to win a medal at the 2021 Junior Pan Am Games. Kirby won bronze in the men's 100-meter backstroke at the inaugural Games in Cali, Colombia in November. Coming off an impressive NCAA and Pac-12 conference season in 2020, Kirby warmed up for later meets with personal best performances at the Bahamas Nationals. And with that junior bronze medal under his belt, he headed off to the FINA World Short Course Championships in Abu Dhabi, where he capped off his season with a new national short course record in the men's 100-meter backstroke, breaking that 53-second barrier and becoming the first Barbadian to achieve this feat in this event. For his outstanding bronze medal finish at the Pan Am Junior Games, Kirby will also receive a $1,000 performance bonus from the Barbados Olympic Association. Ladies and gentlemen, let's now hear from Jack Kirby, the Male Athlete of the Year.
Oh, okay. I'm going to quickly say thank you. And yes, the past 2.5 years have been very difficult, but I'm very excited for 2022. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jack, and congratulations. And now for our final award of the evening, the President's Award.
Presenting the President's Award for 2021 is Ms. Sandra Osborne, President of the Barbados Olympic Association.
The recipient of this year's President's Award goes to an athlete whose progress I have been following very closely over the last couple of years. And I must say that that progress has been commendable. This year, she won the hearts of all Barbadians, and it is my absolute pleasure to announce that the recipient of the 2021 President's Award is Shade Williams.
We will now hear once again from the Lady of the Hour, Shade Williams, the winner of the President's Award.
I didn't prepare a speech for this. So just thank you for choosing me for this award. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations once again, Shade, and congratulations to all of our awardees this evening. We are into the home stretch of this ceremony, so I would like to invite Mr. Erskine Simmons, the Secretary General of the Barbados Olympic Association and Chairman of the BOA's Awards and Special Events Committee, to give the vote of thanks.
The Honorable Dwight Sutherland, Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, Ms. Sandra Osborne, President of the Barbados Olympic Association, Ms. Nicole Horvitz, IOC Vice President and Guest Speaker, Honorary IOC Member Sir Austin Seeley, Mr. Steve Stout, immediate past President of the Barbados Olympic Association, Mr. Matt Fingal, Chairman of the National Sports Council, Ms. Shelley-Ann Hee Chong of IGT and our lovely partners, Mr. Neil Murrell, Director of the National Sports Council, Ms. Frida Nichols, President of the Barbados Olympians Association, Mr. Glenn Clark, General Manager of the BOA and other members of staff, Presidents and Secretaries of national federations, award winners, athletes, sports administrators, members of the media, friends and colleagues in sport. We have come to the conclusion of what has been our inaugural virtual awards ceremony, where we took time to pay tribute to our athletes and administrators in a year where the spirit of resilience prevailed. It's an honor for me to render tonight's vote of thanks to all who have contributed to this unique and special event. I start by expressing appreciation to Minister Sutherland. Minister, we appreciate your taking time from your hectic schedule to be part of tonight's event and for rendering what was very salient and special remarks. Please be assured that this NOC will continue to work with your ministry to enhance not only sport infrastructure, but also strategies to create a healthier Barbados. To IOC Vice President Nicole Horvitz, thank you ever so much for your feature address, which provided much food for thought on the future of the Olympic movement. We're delighted that you agreed to be part of this virtual event, and on behalf of the Olympic movement of Barbados, we not only laud your remarks tonight, but also commend you for the mammoth contribution you are making to the regional and international Olympic community. To our President Sandra Osborne, I thank you for your welcome remarks, an address which again highlighted your vision for this NOC under your leadership. I'm sure my colleagues and executive board stand in unison with your sentiments. I look forward to working with you well into the future. To Shelley-Ann Hee Chong and IGT, we praise you for being part of tonight's proceedings. And I appreciate that the Barbados Lottery is not only the primary sponsor of tonight's event, but also the lifeblood of the Barbados Olympic movement. Your involvement in our awards epitomizes the Barbados Lottery's commitment to the Olympic community of Barbados. Please know that you're deeply appreciated. I hope the Chairman of the National Sports Council was able to join us tonight. We thank you and look forward to your continued close cooperation with our Council. To the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, we thank you for broadcasting tonight's event. This no doubt enhanced the prestige and scope of the ceremony. I also take time to recognize our members of the media. Indeed, you are very important to the BOA and we're very much in your debt for the support and for the many programs and projects under the BOA. A special recommendation to Mr. Mervyn Lynch of Lynch Productions and to the BOA Awards Commission supported by Pamela Parvis and her staff of PRMR Public Relations Inc., Tanya Wiggins and Paula Jarvis and the other members of the Commission who toiled relentlessly to ensure tonight's event was a success. To our Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Marsha Boyce, I paid contribute to taking us through tonight's program most efficiently. Finally, I conclude by again recognizing Minister Sutherland, Nicole Horvitz, and indeed my gratitude to each and every one of you watching for making this event a reality. I take this opportunity to extend heartfelt greetings for a blessed Christmas, a happy and healthy productive 2022, not only to the sports community, but to our friends and supporters everywhere. Thank you and good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us for the 2021 Barbados Olympic Association Sports Awards. I'm Marsha Boyce, wishing you good night from the Barbados Olympic Center.